We have 5 museums in there. It's the Treasury, the Armory, there's an Antique Museum. There is even, what else do we have? We have the Royal Apartments, of course. And then last but not least, there is as well a museum about the old Royal Palace that burned down in the year of 1697. Which looked like a fairy tale castle, basically, that you have inside. You can go there. Actually, there will even be a change of the guards at 1:15 that you can visit when later when we come back. So that's possible. The ship that you see here on the left-hand side, the white one, it's called Archipelago. It's been laying here since around 50 years. It's a youth hostel nowadays, actually. So I think right now they closed it. They kind of rehaul it. They don't really know what's supposed to do with, but maybe the youth hostel will start again. This ship, this is quite interesting. If you're into sailing, it still has the speed world record for a ship with for a sailing ship with passengers on board. So, which is 19.5 knots. Of course, quite quick. And it was built in 1888 in Scotland, and they transported timber from Norway to Australia those days, I think. And then here, you see the old town here on the right-hand side, this facade. I mean, it pops pretty well now when it's such a beautiful day. But this colorful facade was built to brag, to boast. They want to show off what a beautiful city Stockholm is. And Stockholm is situated between two bodies of water. We have on this side the Baltic Sea going out to the Archipelago to the east. On the other side, to the west, I think maybe you can see it here. We see the subways going there. On the other, there's a big lake, and that is not a small lake. That is the 7th largest lake of Europe. Actually, it would go on for 130 kilometers, like 90 miles, basically. And in the winter time, it does freeze over. So I was walking on the lake, like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. I was skating there, actually. So I haven't seen it yet. If there's still ice, there might still be. It's possible, but don't try it if you're not certain. Okay. Usually there are a lot of other people on the ice. Maybe that gives us. But the ice was pretty thick then. It was like 40, 50 centimeters, something like 1.5 foot or something. You can actually still see some ice floes here floating around. So you can imagine, it was like 2 weeks ago we had to act as an icebreaker when we were out here. So I think we're going to see a little more ice further out actually, but it is, yeah, don't worry, it's a steel hull, the ship, so it's quite, I won't make any Titanic jokes actually, no, but it is quite, yeah, durable construction. Well, and Stockholm consists of 14 islands. The old town, this was where Stockholm was founded, 1252. And here on the right-hand side, that is the largest island of Stockholm. It's a residential area. It's called Kungsholm, sorry, it's the southern island, Södermalm is actually the southern Södermalm. And you have to know, in Stockholm there's a bit of a gap from the north to the south. That means the southern part here on the right, this is known as the Bohemian area, the workers' island. And the north, that is rather known as the upper class area, maybe the better off citizens would live there. And the island had a nickname once upon a time. They called it the Red Southern Island because all the socialists and communists lived on that island. However, nowadays this is quite expensive to live there as well. Stockholm is in general quite expensive. For an apartment, you would like to buy one. Let's say just a one-room apartment, 30 square meters, like 15 square feet. The price tag would probably be something like at least 200,000. Sometimes people wonder, can't you rent it? Not possible. Yes, you can. But there's a queue, a line where you have to line up to get an apartment in Stockholm. The official waiting time right now, downtown area, is 25 years. So, yeah, have the amusement park of Stockholm here on the left hand side. It's quite old, it's 145 years old now. And maybe you heard about this hybrid warfare. People are checking out the first part of the passing internet vehicles and stuff like that. And that was certainly And here on the left hand side now, the yellow building, the small black spire in the middle, that is a private school building right down there. And two very prominent students from the school there. It's all that design of the Swedish Crown Prince. Number two and number three, the Swedish succession order. You have Victoria, she's actually on the pictures here as well. You can see her on the right hand side where you have the birthday over her left shoulder, the girl dressed in blue. That is Victoria, but this is a very old picture, it's like 30 years ago. She's 47 years of age now, just children of her own. So it's very different. And Manila school, I said, actually last time I checked, Manila was the capital of the Philippines. I wonder how they had built it previously. Well, you have to know that there was a Spanish ambassador had a soccer book in this area, and he had searched on the Philippines for the Spanish territory. He came here and said, oh, this reminds me so much of now we're leaving the municipality of Stockholm. So this is where the Archipelago starts here. It opens up now a bit of big. And here on the right hand side, that's a little different municipality that you find here. The name is Nacka. And you will now see something here. There is a statue here. It's a big stick basically with a man up top. And the name of the statue is God our Father on the divine arch of heaven. Oh, you have really to hold your head down now, but you can see the stick there. And well, this statue was supposed to stand in front of the United Nations building in New York, but it is a Christian symbol, of course, and the United Nations do have a lot of other religions there that might be affected, so actually put it here instead. It's in the summertime there is a water beam coming out. It looks like a waterfall then that completes the arch. At the top, at the foot of the stick there, that's where you find the Archipelago, which is just the Lord setting up the stars. Carl Millis is the sculptor, by the way. Carl Miles, they say sometimes in North America, but he's a very renowned Swedish sculptor. Well, yeah, two more things, then I give you a break. So here on the right-hand side now, pretty soon, you will see that there's an oil terminal coming up, and this oil terminal, I don't know if there's a ship in, but they would just usually pump up the oil storage tanks there, and then provide them to the different gas stations in Stockholm. And of course, one could argue and say this is risky business. If an oil tanker would have a leak in the archipelago, that would be disastrous here for the environment, of course. So we have built a new oil terminal south of Stockholm, and they would transport everything by train up to the city. This one, it will tear down. 2036, it will be gone in 10 years' time, and they will build apartments there. So, yeah, you might come back and see what it looks like then. No ship in today. Well, and now here on the left-hand side, these are the first islands of the archipelago. It's 4 small islands that you have here, and in the summertime you can take ferries from Stockholm. It's like 30 minutes to get out here. They run every half hour in and out, and then you can stay until, well, almost midnight. People would bask in the sun, they would lay down on the cliffs here, they get very warm, then they would even go swim. Water temperature in the summer, it's something like 20 degrees Celsius, so that would be maybe almost 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And I think right now it's fairly refreshing. This is actually 2 weeks ago, we were breaking the ice. Here there was a sea eagle, a white-tailed eagle, that was feasting the swan that had been falling down the street. And it was the view to the clouds and you see here these sheds that you have there, and that is where you find museums in there, how they were fishing, how they were hunting, how they were carving, how they were, there's glass doors, all kinds of stuff. It's free of charge, actually. And this used to be a military base. And you can see some remains of the military. They left in the 80s, but if you look here on the left-hand side, you see this, at the tip of the island, there is a kind of a greenish hut there. And on the left-hand side of the roof, there's an anti-aircraft gun. You see it there? There are lots of guns sticking up towards the sky. So that's the remain of the military, and you can imagine it's a very strategical position because hostile planes come to Stockholm, probably come from the inlet here, the archipelago, to navigate, and they would fly very low at this point. They try to bob the city. This is a good spot to pick them from the sky, of course. It's been a long time since Sweden was involved in a war. The last time was 1814 against Napoleon. It's a very long time. However, you might have heard that we joined NATO 2 years ago, and that is of course, reaction to the Russian aggression in Ukraine. You know, that we just felt with such an aggressive neighbor, it's pretty hard to remain neutral. And there's something else that you have to know. Out in the Baltic, there is an island which is called Gotland, G-O-T land. It's not part of the archipelago, it's much further out. It's right there in the middle. And it has very high strategic value because we have that island, we can control the inter-airspace of the Baltics. for another maybe 25 minutes or something. I would even go through the boat now, see if you have any questions, anything you've been wondering about. You can ask me in English, of course. You can ask me in Swedish. Jag pratar svenska också, om du förstår på svenska. Or you can ask me in German. Ich spreche also auf Deutsch und frage auf Deutsch. Könnte mich auch gerne fragen. And I will be back here at the mic as soon as we start surfing around the islands. See you in a bit. now we have come closer to the first islands of the archipelago again, the Feather Islands. This time we're going to go right through. You have the islands here on the left and actually on the right hand side in front. And well, on the left hand side, that's the main island of the 4 islands, called the Big Feather Islands, Stora Fjäderholmen. Of these 4 islands, 3 are natural, 1 is artificial. And maybe you can tell, because if you look here on the left hand side, you see this is clearly a natural island. This is the cliffs are rounded by the sea, maybe rounded by the last ice age as well, and they've grinded down, I guess. But if you look now here on the right hand side, not the first island but the second one, there you see a lot of jack boulders, a lot of stones with edges, and that is just gravel that they had left when they built the metro, the subway system here, the underground in Stockholm. They need to put the gravel somewhere. They put it here, and yeah, that's what came out of it. It's a bird sanctuary nowadays that we have there. So you would find seagulls and swans. I think there's this sea eagle that I talked about earlier on. I think he's nesting somewhere on the island, I heard, but I don't know really. I've never seen him there so far. You can actually see that the water is very calm here. You can, if you look at the stones, you can even see that the water is quite low. There is no tide in the Baltic Sea. Or there is a little bit, but it's just like 1 foot, like 30 centimeters up and down, so not very much. It affects the water level more if there's strong winds pushing water in from the North Sea or pushing them out, basically. Then it can go up and down for like 3 feet, like 1 meter, basically. And then here on the left hand side, see there's a restaurant there. You can get some smoked salmon. Then there's a microbrewery. Then they have a playground here, they have a children's theater in the summertime, there is a gas station here, you can refill your boat if you would like to do that. And one thing that might strike you is actually like, why are all the houses red in Sweden? What's the thing about the red color here? And I tell you, we used to have a copper mine, and when it was like 150 kilometers north of Stockholm, maybe like 100 miles, and when they mined the copper there, they had a residue, a byproduct. It was several substances, but 2 of them were copper sulfate and iron oxide. And these substances then mixed with the water in the mine, the puddles that they had there, and the water turned red. And after a while they realized that these wooden pillars that supported the mine, they absorbed that red color, they turned red as well, and they never ever got rotten. And that's when they thought, okay, let's try paint our houses with that stuff. And that's what they've done, and that's why we have so many red houses in Sweden. You just have to repaint your house every like 15-20 years if you use a red copper color. And you can actually always tell if it's a real color, the original color, if you take your fingertip, you put it on the wall, maybe, and if the fingertip turns red, then you know it's the original color. If it
стал ногу, и просто потом историю в Англию, который донесся. У него, значит, самый планировал, на котором сейчас есть. Но я сейчас просто видели, что это так прищипало.
Almost back in Stockholm. I told you that I would like to give you some tips and recommendations here what to do the rest of the day, and let's start here on the right hand side, because up top here where you see the tree line, there's a big plateau there. You see the house, there's a church tower belfry there, and this is the open air museum Skansen that you have there. It is really very nice, in particular if the weather is good, which it is today, obviously. You can walk around there for 2-3 hours inside the open air museum. They have 160 different buildings from entire Sweden put on display. You could go inside, they would have dress up in the old-fashioned way, they would explain everything, and they have even a zoo with Nordic animals like the moose, the lynx, the wolverine, the reindeers without red noses, brown bears they would have as well. They have an aquarium with all the fish in the Baltic Sea that you can check out, the codfish, Baltic Sea herring, salmon, stuff like that. And it was built when Sweden was industrialized, like 50 years ago. They said we need some kind of aftermath here, we need some place where we can put these old handicrafts at display, you know, they disappeared so quickly. So it's really something I recommend as Skansen. It's very nice actually, and you have a nice overview from there. Then you might have heard of the Vasa Museum, the Vasa ship. And that was a ship that was built here in Stockholm like 400 years ago. Very big ship, 64 cannons. She was 69 meters long, around 210 feet. And she sailed away the 10th of August in 1628 on a Sunday, and we were very, very proud of the ship. Unfortunately, only for 15 minutes, because she sank right away. To retrieve the honor of Sweden, I have to tell you that the shipbuilder was Dutch and the captain was a Dane, so blame it on the others. It wasn't our fault, of course. But this is actually the place where she sank, right here where we are now. This is where the Vasa ship sank. She didn't come that far, and you will now on the right hand side in front of us see a big reddish box with a leaning roof and 3 masts up top. That is the Vasa Museum. The masts indicate the original height of the ship. It's 52.5 meters, like, yeah, what is it, 170 feet maybe. And, well, I had an American group there the other day. The first question that I got was, is this real? Yes, it is real. 98% of the ship is original. She's been on the bottom of the Baltic for 333 years, and it is a very spectacular sight. Really something I would recommend if you have the chance to go there. On the right-hand side of the Vasa Museum, there's another big ship there. Sorry, a big building with a spire in the middle. It looks like a mixture of a palace and a church, and that is the Nordic Museum. That shows Nordic traditions, Nordic customs, Nordic lifestyle, how we celebrate Christmas, how we celebrate New Year's Eve, how we celebrate Midsummer, how we get drunk in general. That's kind of what you can see there. The Vasa are more spectacular from the inside, the Nordic maybe more from the outside, I would say. And you have the amusement park as well here, again behind us, and there is even the ABBA Museum. It's right behind the amusement park. The pop group ABBA might ring a bell. They won the Eurovision Song Contest in 1974 with the song Waterloo. Maybe know the other songs like Money, 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 Dancing Queen, Fernando, The Winner Takes It All, Chiquitita, SOS, Super Trooper, Knowing Me, Knowing You, Mamma Mia, a musical you might have heard of as well. So if you're into music, that is definitely something I recommend. Then, here on the left-hand side now, straight across, you have a reddish building here with a black roof, the big building there. That is the Museum of Photography and Contemporary Art. So if you're into photo art, like Helmut Newton for instance, then that's the place to go. And they have very late opening hours. It's open until 11 o'clock in the evening. So you can go there very late, and they have a very nice restaurant there as well. Fotografiska is the name of that museum. Then something you do for free. Listen up now. Something that is free of charge. Here on the left-hand side, there is an elevator. There's a lift with a video screen up top. You see there's a viewing platform up there. You can take the elevator, you can get up there to the top floor, and you can overlook Stockholm, the old town. You even can check out the lake side of Stockholm on the other side, or the seaside here where we are approaching. And yeah, no cost for that. And on the right-hand side of the elevator, in between the traffic lights and the elevator, there is a white building with a black roof. That is the City Museum of Stockholm. The history of Stockholm put on display. Even that museum free of charge. No entrance fee. It's 4 floors. Very nice big museum that you have there. You can check out how Stockholm has developed, how it was built and stuff like that. They have a lot of miniatures there. So definitely something. I can of course combine it with the elevator as well. So no cost for anything. If you would like to go to the museum island, the Vasa Museum, the ABBA Museum, the Nordic Museum, the Skansen Open Air Museum. The best way to get there is to take the ferry. You see the ferry here on the left-hand side, this blue and white ferry. It's just leaving there. It takes like 5 minutes, 5-6 minutes, and then you're going to be at the amusement park. Everything is walking distance from there. And if you have a ticket for the public transportation system, it's valid here. It's the same fare as the metro, the commuter trains, the tram, all everything, the buses of course. And it takes just, they leave every 10 minutes, back and forth. So it's very quick. Okay, and then we're getting back here to the old town as well. I already talked a little bit about it. You have the Royal Palace in front now. Chain of the Guards today at the palace is at 1:15. So like 1 hour 10 minutes, the change of the guards. It takes like 45 minutes actually. So you have to decide if you want to see it all. But even that one of course is quite interesting. And the guards, I just tell you this, thing it's not as strict as in England here, because the guards, they can, in England they have to stand straight. I think the only way to keep the blood circulation going